I like King of the Hill when you've got a giant event or 4 tables.
So just before we go to watch the Manaless Dredge match, it was put to me that Rich Shea is the best vintage player in the world by a couple of well-known players.
Interesting.
Would you?
I'm a big Rich Shea fan.
Yeah,
he's very good.
Obviously, when you were selecting your roster of players for the
I knew exactly who the first
you're
two
like,
got.
He's in.
Yes. I actually think right now it might be Luis Scott Vargas.
Oh wow.
I mean, I know that the vintage specialists are really good, but I mean, Luis has been playing so much vintage since Vintage Masters came out on Magic Online that it's almost like he's turned himself into a vintage specialist.
Right.
Right. He's in first place in our league all by himself. You know, Menendian is the other guy who's really impressed me.
Right.
Like until this last deck, I mean, he's just clearly understands the format inside and out. Great at making metagame calls and sort of understanding matchups. You know, has kind of interesting takes. You know, I think has convinced Luis of some things. I don't know. It's certainly from the 10 guys in the Vintage Super League, those are the 2 who've impressed me the most.
I mean, Luis's raw processing power when it comes to Magic is absurd.
No one can digest a board state quicker than him.
Yeah.
No one. He's just like, you'll have the, 10 permanents against 20 permanents.
Sounds like we have a board state to digest here.
Right.
Hey everybody, welcome to round 6 of the Legacy Championships here at Eternal Weekend in Philadelphia. I'm Brian David Marshall. I am joined by Pro Tour Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we are about to watch John Grudzina. It's another Blue-Red Delver deck.
Now, I got a question about this matchup. Who's the hero and who's the bad guy?
I mean,
is Dredge actually the hero of the story? Is that possible? Has the world gotten to a place where everyone's rooting for the Dredge deck to defeat the evil Delver Menace?
Oh, this is not correct.
It's not Delver.
It's not Blue-Red Delver.
It's a StoneBlade of some
this
kind.
is a StoneBlade deck. This is not Blue-Red Delver, sorry.
It does have treasure cruises.
Grudzina is just, what would you call that?
It does have Delvers, but it's also got Stoneforge Mystics. It does not have Deathrite Shaman. Is it just blue-red?
Well, it's got Stoneforge Mystic.
Blue-red-white. Yeah, it's Jeskai Blade, whatever. Jeskai Blade? I'm sure that's not the naming convention that the Legacy world has gone for. Jeskai StoneBlade, sure.
So it would be Esper StoneBlade or
Jeskai StoneBlade.
Sure.
All-American StoneBlade?
Yeah.
We'll go with Jeskai StoneBlade. Against, Manaless Dredge. Manaless Dredge, if you hadn't seen it before, the Manaless part is legit. There are no lands in this deck. Not a one. There does not believe in casting spells.
So there is a Dryad Arbor in
No,
the
there's
deck?
not even a Dryad Arbor. There just are no lands. So you use dredge cards like Grave Troll, Stinkweed Imp, Golgari Thug. If you can get one of those into the graveyard to get it started, then you just start dredging away, spilling Narcomoebas into play, spilling Icarids and Nether Shadows into the graveyard, where they can be sacrificed to Cabal Therapy and Dread Return. Those are the crucial cards. And the reason you get so much value out of sacrificing your creatures to Cabal Therapy and Dread Return is the 4 copies of Bridge from Below. Bridge from Below says whenever one of your creatures goes to the graveyard, you get a zombie. And that's what you do. Street Wraith, Cataxian Probe, Phantasmagorian for value. Chancellor of the Annex is cute. What that says is at the beginning of the game, your Chancellor of the Annex, it says that they have to pay 1 extra for the next spell that they play. So it basically counters their first thing unless they pay an extra, which means you're slowing them down. Like whatever your opponent is up to, it probably requires them to cast a spell, and that's going to take them an extra mana. Sullivan has also gone so far as to play 4 copies of Force of Will as well. And he's even got an Iona that he can Dread Return back.
Woo. What do you name against Jeskai StoneBlade?
Oh, funny. I don't know. I mean, probably blue.
Yeah.
No treasure cruises for you.
Yeah, no treasure cruises for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how this deck matches up against Treasure Cruise. That's kind of one of the things I'm interested to see here. I mean, it's not Delver Cruise, but it is Cruise in this Jeskai StoneBlade list. I mean, I think that the Dredge deck is just faster than that, right? You don't have anything for them to bolt. You don't have anything for them to counter.
Right.
If you can actually just get your zombies smashing over,
Like rest in peace, anti-cruise cards.
oh yeah, I mean the deck is certainly vulnerable to graveyard hate. If people start packing graveyard hate against the cruise decks, then
Right.
Dredge is kind of vulnerable to that.
Right. Interesting.
All right, looks like we're off to the races.
Okay. So StoneBlade deck leads off with, that looks like just a Tundra.
All right, now he is going to put his deck in the middle. He's going to put his graveyard to the right and his in-play zone to the left. So what Sullivan has basically done is divide the screen up where 2/3 of it is his graveyard and 1/3 of it is the in-play zone. And his first turn, he's not doing anything.
He's just going to discard.
It's like, I got to get cards into my graveyard. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by doing absolutely nothing on my first turn and discarding a card. And is that a Stinkweed Imp? I can't quite tell from the glare. Oh, Phantasmagorian. What does Phantasmagorian do exactly? This is the one part of the deck I get confused about.
Like all the singleton and oddball cards.
No, it's a 4 of.
It's a 4 of.
It's not in the vintage decks, and most of my Dredge experience is in vintage. Is this the one that lets you discard cards to return it to your hand? So it just gives you another way to put extra cards into the graveyard. That makes sense. You just can't mulligan with this deck. It's the getting started part is always the crazy part to me. Like in vintage, you can play Bazaar of Baghdad. You just have a way to get cards into your graveyard. And if you're capable of casting spells, you can do things like turn 1 Putrid Imp. But getting started with the Manaless Dredge deck is actually the hardest part. So I guess you choose draw and then discard on the first turn. And if your opponent chooses draw, do you just have to wait for turn 2 to get this trick started?
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know how you discard cards other than having 8 cards in hand. I mean, the deck's got Whirlpool Riders, but obviously you have to get that into play before it can discard anything. Yeah, meanwhile, Grudzina goes for End Step Brainstorm, untaps, cracks Fetch Land to shuffle. So Phantasmagorian doesn't do anything relevant other than it says discard some cards,
He can discard 3 cards to return it to his hand.
which you don't really want the card in your hand. You just want the ability to discard things.
Yeah.
What a bizarre engine.
Yeah. And then he plays. Is that a? That's dealt.
I think that's a Delver.
Yeah.
All right. At the end of your turn, I will discard these cards. There's an Iona. There's a Nether Shadow. There's
An altered card that we.
He's discarding 4 cards. Phantasmagorian is discard 3 :
Discard 3 : yeah. Discard 3 cards, return Phantasmagorian from your graveyard to your hand.
All right. One of them was a Golgari Grave Troll. So now during his draw phase, he can use the Dredge ability of Golgari Grave Troll to spill 7 cards, one of which happens to be an Archamoeba. Also, yeah, did not have 3 creatures on top of the Nether Shadow. Wow. What is he Force of Willing? Force of Will is a Daze. What got dazed? What did he cast that got dazed? Yeah, Nether Shadow went on the stack. He dredged as a response. What was Force of Will targeting?
Oh, was that all in response to? There's your first bridge from below.
Wow. This is all in response to Delver? Oh, there was a Street Wraith in there that got cycled. That's why it was 4 cards. He discarded 3 to pick up the Phantasmagorian. He also cycled a Street Wraith.
Got it.
Which allowed him to dredge. And then he attempted to force the Delver, but Daze defended the Delver. Delver resolved.
Daze seems really good against Manaless.
Yeah, Daze does not seem that bad. Okay, here come a couple zombies from the Bridge from Below because he sacrificed his Nether Shadow for a Cabal Therapy. Yeah, all those people who complain about the crazy stuff that can happen in Eternal formats and Dredge and whatnot, wow, blind named Swords to Plowshares. Hits the sword.
Wow.
Sees what he's got to play through. It's a Force of Will, but no blue card to go with it.
Flips another Swords to Plowshares.
Pairings for round number 4.
Delver
being
flips.
posted on the left pairings board over here by the side of end stage. Your pairings for round 4 going up, Vintage Trial players.
All right, Grudzina is just flipping a Delver, trying to deal 20 as quickly as he can. I can't imagine he's got a lot of tech in this matchup. Now, the one thing that he can try to do is he can potentially remove those bridges. In order to remove from the bridge, if one of his creatures goes to his graveyard, then Bridge from Below actually removes itself from the graveyard.
Right,
so if Grudzina could potentially, bolt his own Delver, for example, which is exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, Narcomoeba gets in the way of the Delver. The Narcomoeba's... he lets the Narcomoeba die, and then with the Bridge trigger on the stack, I guess.
Oh, sure. Bridge trigger on the stack. So instead of you getting 2 zombies, I'm just going to kill my own Delver, and that way you don't get any zombies, and those 2 copies of Bridge from Below are now gone. We still have the 2 zombies from before, though. Those are the ones that Sullivan got from the Cabal Therapy, thanks to the bridges. Now, 2 more Bridge from Belows in Sullivan Brophy's deck. He will go digging for him. Any more Street Race that he draws, he can cycle to Dredge, and he's got his draw phase to naturally allow him to Dredge.
Well, I imagine he won't actually have a draw phase.
Nether Shadow comes back. Icarid, he's going to pull a creature back for Icarid. And I mean, and the beats actually add up here relatively quickly.
Yeah.
He is, so instead of a draw phase, he's going to spill 5 with Icarid. Hits a bridge.
Yep.
3, 4, 5, 6, take 8. Whack. No, I don't want to take 8.
Right.
I want to plow your Icarid.
Seems good.
Yeah, and there's plenty of food for the Icarid, so it was going to be coming out every turn if he didn't plow it. All right, fine. Take 5. And Sullivan's done. Wow. Somehow, lightning bolting his own creature has taken the steam out of John's draw. All right. Second Nether Shadow also had 3 creatures above it this time around. Phantasmagorian allows Sullivan to discard 3 cards, including the Golgari Grave Troll, to keep the engine going. There's a Dread return. I think I saw an Icarid as well. It's too late for the Icarid trigger this turn, but he'll get it next turn. How about 6? 2 Nether Shadows and a couple of zombies. Bolt your zombie. Take 4. All right. Still basically a 2-turn clock. Or Sullivan can sacrifice the Nether Shadows to a Dread return.
Oh gosh, here
comes Iona. Didn't hear which color he named.
We're gonna assume
Probably
he names blue, right?
doesn't matter.
Being posted.
Yeah, John Grudzina scoops him
white.
up.
Oh yeah, he named white because he's worried about Swords to Plowshares.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Sullivan Brophy takes game 1. How do you feel about your first experience with Manaless Dredge, Brian?
That looked awesome.
Awesome?
That looked awesome. I love Dredge.
Really?
Yeah, I played Dredge when it was first round. I like playing from my graveyard. I'm a graveyard guy.
Got it.
I love it.
It is crazy that you can attack the format from such a bizarre angle.
Round 4, you have.
I mean, there are so many good cards in Legacy. I don't want to play lands.
I mean, look, I thought it was all fine and good when, John friggin' Rizzo was breaking the format with Icarids. Like, the Friggerid deck was just awesome. But, I mean, it's gone so far, like, you don't even have to play lands?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is certainly not what Magic the way Garfield intended it.
No.
I don't think Richard ever imagined this.
No.
20-whatever years ago. It is kind of cool to have it around.
That back match is still in game 1.
Hilarious.
While that resolved. That's Roland Chang, I believe, on the back table, right?
Oh, is he 5-0? Are they 5-0? I think they're 5-0. Wow.
Well, what's that matchup look like?
It's just what we want. The Delver Mirror.
Oh, good.
Sarcasm?
Yes. No.
Wonder what happens after sideboarding here.
Well, let's see. You have Contagions,
Sure.
Sickening Shoal,
Yeah, for more free spells.
Disrupting Shoal, more
Yeah.
free spells.
Fairy Macabre, that's a free spell.
Yeah,
Kills the graveyard stuff.
Ashen Rider, World Spine Worm.
Sometimes you want a Dread Return, other things. It's good to have options. Which fad he?
But
Does he have graveyard hate?
on the other side of the table, John Grudzina has Grafdigger's Cage 1,
Oh, only one?
Rest in Peace 2.
Oh, okay. Rest in Peace is obviously insane in this matchup.
So, yeah.
Can Sullivan remove a Rest in Peace?
I mean, he can name it with Cabal Therapy on turn 1.
Yeah, he can
and
force
hope
a
to
will
hit
it.
it.
He's got
Yeah,
Force of
he can
Wills.
counter it, yeah.
That's it. It cannot. There are no free spells that remove an artifact, I don't think.
Right.
So yeah, the one Grafdigger's Cage and the 2 Rest in Pieces. That's what Grudzina really needs here after sideboarding. I mean, it plays out this way in Vintage too, where game 1, you show up with this Bizarro deck that just blanks a lot of your opponent's reactive stuff. You have a really good winning percentage in game 1, and then the question is, can you win one of the sideboarded games?
Please find your seat.
The question is, do you bring in Red Elemental Blasts?
He did see the Force of Will.
Yeah, you've seen the Force of Will. I mean, you guys have been playing next to each other. Maybe you saw Disrupting Shoal. You know,
Funny.
there are 4 of them in his sideboard.
Sure.
So, you know, do you...
I think it probably depends how many cards you're taking out. Like, you're probably taking out Force of Will. You're probably taking out Lightning Bolt. You're taking out... You might leave the Dazes.
Yeah, the Dazes seem awesome.
Right. Way better than Force of Will for sure. Maybe you take out Spell Pierce? I don't know. I mean, if you... Just Force of Will Lightning Bolt gives you 8 cards. I think you take out Lightning Bolt. I mean, you actually used Lightning Bolt pretty well that game to get rid of the bridge from below.
I don't know that you can cut Lightning. I think you need to be able to...
Well, I was leaving the plows in.
Yeah, okay.
Although
That
plow doesn't beat bridge, right?
It doesn't beat Bridge, yeah.
It beats the recursive element of Icarid.
Right.
Beats, you know, whatever giant fatty comes out with Dread Return.
Man, I think you're right. It's got to be such a weird deck to mulligan.
Like, Grudzina's supposed to choose draw, right?
And this was my next question to you. Does Grudzina draw?
I think he's supposed to. Look, it may be easier for Brophy to get cards in the graveyard than I think it is, but like I don't see how you start this engine without having 8 cards in your hand and then discarding something.
Right.
If that's the only way to get it started, you absolutely choose draw. I mean, I've certainly drafted, you know, cube decks or vintage rotisserie decks, you know, reanimator decks that want to choose draw for exactly that reason.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, start out, I'll discard my Iona. I'm willing to...
Yeah, I'm willing to take the beats for 2 turns.
Right.
You can hit me with your Goblin Guide.
I'll exhume on turn 3. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And ideally, you just end up... You
Reanimate's even better. I didn't want to be too greedy in this story. I have definitely reanimated on turn 2, a thing I discarded on turn 1. And Grudzina seemed like he was relatively comfortable with the matchup. I mean, knowing to bolt your own Delver to fizzle the 2 bridges showed some familiarity with the matchup for sure. Now we'll see if he's drawing. No, he's playing first. Or no, he's drawing. He chose draw. Right, and Brophy just did nothing on his first turn except say go. Now it's his second turn, and he can finally discard. And there's the Phantasmagorian again. Yeah. Just free card. Why not? Grudzina effectively got to play and draw.
That's the best.
It's not bad. I guess it's not a complete savaging that you chose draw. You're basically just saying Grudzina gets to play and draw.
Yeah. It's like old school Magic.
Yeah. Wasn't really fair. Being on the play is still advantaged, even with modern rules. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I think Frank Karsten ran the numbers. It was like 52-48 or 50. Man, it might have been 54.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was more like 52. I would like to pick up Phantasmagorian, and I would like to cycle Street Wraith. How do you feel about this? I see a bridge. Oh, there's a bunch of street wraiths. Bridge and an Archamoeba.
Looks that way.
All right. I would like to pick up Phantasmagorian again. Great. Now all my cards are in the graveyard, right where I want them.
Yeah.
Let's return this Grave Troll during my draw phase. Hits Cabal Therapy, more Grave Trolls, second bridge, I believe.
That does look like a second bridge.
So he can Cabal Therapy with Narcomoeba, see what's up, make 2 tokens. I think that was Brophy's draw phase, right? And then he probably shipped the turn? No, he would Cabal Therapy rather than ship the turn, right?
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna just see a response to at the end of his draw step.
Okay. Is he gonna plow the Narcomoeba to turn off Cabal Therapy?
He may.
Interesting. It denies him the zombies.
Yep.
Yeah. He's gonna plow Narcomoeba inside the draw phase so that Sullivan can't cast that Cabal Therapy.
You're basically like, what, 40, 60 for your games 2 and 3 with a deck like this?
I mean, in Legacy, you might catch people unaware.
Right.
Right. In Vintage, everyone knows Dredge is a tier 1 deck. You have to devote a bunch of sideboard cards to them. In Legacy, that's not nearly as true. I mean, it's not one of the most popular decks. Okay, here's True Name Nemesis. So
Yeah,
basically saying, yeah, I will choose you as the opponent. You have 7 turns to kill me. 7 turns, probably enough. We'll see. Nether Shadow, a Dread Return. Choosing the order of the cards that go to the graveyard. Nether Shadow is one of the few cards in Magic that cares about graveyard order.
Right.
Only comes back if there are 3 creatures above it in your
Ash
graveyard.
And Ghoul, the other one.
There's more than that. Kravikan Horror.
Sure. Oh yeah, Kravikan Horror. And Death Spark.
Yeah, it's 4. It might just be those 4.
And they were like, ooh, this is a pain.
Yes. But yeah, the rule with graveyard order is if cards are going to the graveyard simultaneously, you can choose the order. And the cards that you dredge count as all going to the graveyard at the same time. You saw Sullivan move the Nether Shadow to the bottom of the pile.
I would like you down here.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a True Name Nemesis get bolted.
Ah. That would be bizarre. Grudzina could bolt his own True Name to get rid of... Are we up to we're at 2 bridges?
I believe we're at 2 bridges. I having a very hard time, unfortunately, with the glare and the...
And the foils.
Yeah. I love it.
Lightning
I
bolts.
love it.
My
Bolt my own True Name
Nemesis.
That's awesome.
I can't believe we've seen that. It was 3 bridges.
Oh my God. Well, I would.
I would too.
I mean,
Bolt my True Name to get 3 bridge from belows? Absolutely.
Based on the hate for Dredge, I'm sure there's people at home who would like, kickstart a bolt to kill those bridges right there. Wow.
This didn't work out last game, though.
No.
Killing his own creature left so much time that Sullivan was able to just win with the other edges he got.
That's insane. And going on a cruise.
Do they have merfolk on this cruise?
Yeah. They have merfolk, they have humans.
Can't believe we saw True Name Nemesis get hit by lightning bolt. I've never seen that before.
I am unreasonably happy at this moment.
All right. What is left after the bridges are
There's still a
gone?
Dread Return in there.
Still a Dread Return. There's also a Nether Shadow and an Icarid. Dread Return requires 3 creatures, so that's not happening just yet. But there's Dredgers for the draw phase. Cabal Therapy, a couple of Whirlwind Riders. Cabal Therapy a lot less value with no bridges.
Yep, attack you.
Here's 4. Icarid dies. Normally, Icarid dying triggers all the bridge from below.
Right.
Icarid all by itself is an excellent combo with bridge from below.
Yeah. I mean, while we're amused by bolting the Tomb Nameless, it's really the only play Grudzina had. Right? Like, he had to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Things were going to get disgusting. Okay, here comes Stoneforge Mystic. We're going to just get a Jetay here.
Seems good. You can even put it into play right away, which is kind of nice.
No, he gets the
Now he goes
Batterskull.
Batterskull. It applies more pressure than Jetay to Brophy's life total. I don't know, though. Like, having a Jetay, being able to attack with... I mean, he could actually block. Well, I guess he can block with the Stoneforge anyway. But he could attack with Stoneforge wearing a Jetay, be able to start killing those Icarids every
Right.
turn. Seems like 2 Jetay counters a turn actually outraces Icarid. I don't know. I mean, the Vigilance ability on the Batterskull is also quite good.
Gets an Icarid. Returns Phantasmagorian.
Yeah, gotta get some Dredgers. Those Grave Trolls accumulate in your hand. You
Yeah.
gotta get them back where they belong. Get them into the graveyard.
Our back table, which is Roland Chang versus Kevin Jones. Kevin is up 1 game to nothing in the Blue-Red Delver Mirror. Okay.
You found a second Icarid, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, if you're tuning in, Sullivan Brophy has given his graveyard the prime real estate of most of his in-play zone.
Right.
His deck is in the middle, and then the stuff on the bottom of your screen, that is Sullivan's left, is the in-play zone.
And to your far right, off camera, is the Exiled Zone.
Yeah, which includes 3 copies of Bridge from Below.
Yeah. Relevantly.
Yeah, if you're going to be lightning bolting Icarid, then why didn't you get Jetay? Nether Shadow gets... Oh, what is he dazing?
I believe he's dazing. Is this a Dread Return?
Did he have 3 creatures for Dredge Return?
To the side event stage.
What spell got cast?
Cabal Therapy?
Oh, Cabal Therapy. Yeah, that makes sense. Sack the Nether Shadow to Cabal Therapy. Daze. Daze is absurd in this matchup. One guy has no lands, has no ability to create mana. I have counterspells that are free functionally and require you to play 1 more mana. No Cabal Therapy for you. Yeah, and Sullivan is out of stuff in play. Grudzina cracks a fetch, goes and gets the Volcanic Island. He'll be in position to put Batterskull into play. Nether Shadow's now on the top of Brophy's graveyard, which is not where you want to.
He can fix that pretty quickly, though.
Yeah. I believe it triggers at the beginning of the upkeep, though, so I don't think he can...
He can't Phantasmagorian tricks.
Well, it's not the Phantasmagorian. He needs the Street Wraith.
Right.
Like, to draw a card on Grudzina's turn, he basically has to cycle a Street Wraith.
So another True Name Nemesis. Oh, no, Treasure Cruise.
Second Treasure Cruise of the game. I'd be very impressed if Sullivan can beat 2 Treasure Cruises and exile 3 Bridge from Below. We haven't got any of the actual graveyard hate, but still. You'd think that Treasure Cruise would find the land of Graph Digger. Where did Graph Digger's cages come from? Do they come from Graph? Where do we need to sail the boat?
Straight out of Innistrad, right?
Yeah, all right. Rest in peace. Sullivan has seen enough.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, that card, I can't beat it. I'm dead. You win. I'm Manaless and Graveyardless Dredge. Can't do it.
Graveyardless Dredge. Now that would be a tough one. Rest in peace, indeed. Yeah, it's actually, I think, the biggest problem with the Manaless versions of the Dredge deck. Again, most of my experience is in Vintage, but
Right.
I've tried it both ways, and the problem with Manaless is that you can't kill a sideboard card.
Right.
You know, you put half a dozen lands into your deck, and then all of a sudden you have the ability to have Nature's Claims and, you know, whatever disenchant variants you want to blow up. Maybe it's a Leyline, maybe it's a Graph Digger's Cage. Whatever it is, you can probably blow it up with a Nature's Claim for 1 mana.
What are the different features of those 2 decks? Like, what does the Vintage deck do to have this mana?
Well, so the biggest difference with Vintage is that you get to play Bazaar Baghdad.
Sure.
Right, and that just makes it way easier to discard. It also allows you to draw multiple cards per turn. I mean, in terms of, other than that, it's not like you playing power cards. Like, you don't bother with Moxes. You don't play anything that's restricted. It's just the Bazaars. But then when you have mana, so I mean, you see a lot of the same stuff. You can play Force of Will if you want to. Your core engine has this thing, but the other nice thing you get from playing lands is that you get, oh god, I'm blanking on the Gravecrawler, the guy that comes back whenever you play a land. Why am I blanking on this guy's name?
Yeah,
Bloodghast, thank you, Jesus. Bloodghasts have tremendous synergy. I mean, they're basically better Nether Shadows.
Right.
As long as you can keep dropping lands, you got all your Bloodghast to come back out of the graveyard. You can sack those. Well, you get Bazaar Baghdad's for 4.
Okay,
so the Bazaar
sure.
Baghdad triggers. And then you play like 6.
Okay.
You know, 6, 7, so you wind up with 10, 12 lands in your deck total, maybe a dozen lands. Undiscovered Paradise is actually the best one because it's both pain-free color mana and you can get Bloodghast every single turn because you get to pick it up whenever you play it, and so only having that one land allows you to get Bloodghast every turn for the rest of the game. I mean, you could play Bloodghasts. I'm sure the Legacy Dredge decks that have mana, I'm sure are on Bloodghasts. All right. John has been forced to be on the play. Sullivan lost and chose draw.
Well, it's the only card he really gets to purely draw the game sometimes.
Also true. Is that a mulligan? All right, the StoneBlade player going down to 6. I mean, any draw without a Rest in Peace or Graph Digger's Cage is a decent candidate for a mulligan. If it's flawed at all, ship it. I'm reading in the chat that there's a good Manaless Dredge thread on MTG The Source. People are testing various versions, trying to combat the hate. I don't know that there are good mana versions in Legacy. It may be that Manaless is just the better way to play it in Legacy. I think in Vintage, since you already have 4 lands in your deck and Bloodghast is so powerful, I certainly liked it better with lands and the ability to blow up sideboard cards. But it's also the case that in Vintage, there just are more sideboard cards. Because it's a Tier 1 deck rather than a Tier 2 deck, you know you're going to have to slog through hate. Whereas here, you can catch people where I feel like Grudzina has a decent plan, but it's still only 3 real cards.
Right.
And that's as much as anybody's going to have, is 3 cards.
But 3 cards with... And he doesn't have as much ability to rip through his deck as maybe the blue-red Delver decks do.
True. But I mean, compared to Vintage versus the 7 or 8
right,
every deck is going to have, I don't know, maybe you're just... Plan A, I think, is just to roll the dice and not run into sideboard cards. At least not in both games. How about turn 1 Graph Digger's Cage? You got a Force of Will? Does Sullivan have a Force of Will? Yeah. He's just dead, right? He's conceding. You got me.
Turn one kill.
Grafdigger's Cage with Force of Will backup. Sullivan's dead. I'm not wrong, am I? He just picked up his deck and scooped up his cards, right?
I mean, he just slammed his hand into his deck.
Yeah, no, I think this is just the post-game decompression. Well, there's good sides of playing Manaless Dredge, and then there's your opponent playing a turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage that you can't Force of Will.
Shows him the disrupting shoals. But like, even if he has to Force of Will that there, and even
I believe Grudzina had the Force back.
I know he did. He did. But even if he doesn't have the Force back and you Force, then what happens? So now you have 5 cards.
You can discard on turn 4.
He's right. Wow. Turn 1 kill.
Turn 1 kill.
It was not the Manaless Dredge deck that did it.
I did not expect to see one of those until tomorrow, not gonna lie. I wasn't even sure we were gonna see one tomorrow. Hopefully we can get an interview with one of these guys.
Well, I think we're going to check.
Oh, we have a backup match.
We have a backup match.
Even better.
The blue-red
More magic. Even better. Turn 1 kill.
And we're like, how does he get out of this? What can he do? Does he? Oh, no, he just scoops. Like, I'll go get some coffee.
Grafdigger's Cage is a card.
Yeah.
Grafdigger's Cage, man, so powerful.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons he plays Chancellor's Annex.
Oh, make them pay an extra.
Yeah.
Slow it down for a turn until you can discard. Okay, Chancellor's Annex, at the beginning of game, reveal it. They pay 1 extra for their first spell, is that right?
Yeah.
And you can Dread Return it. It's a 5/6 flyer, right?
Right.
You can Dread Return it. Not irrelevant.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the booth. If you're just tuning in, you just missed a turn 1 kill.
Turn 1 kill.
Turn 1 Grafdigger's Cage. Scoop up my cards.
That was game 3, too.
Yeah, that was game 3. I mean, there was just nothing he could do. I mean, we were looking at the list, we were trying to figure it out. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of decision, like, you're just rolling some dice when you show up with the Dredge deck. Like, I mean, it's worked so far. He was playing 5-0, playing on table 1.
Right.
Got game 1, but sideboard cards came to play, both game 2 and game 3.
Let's just say you're some ridiculous gaudy favorite in game 1. I don't know what that's like, but let's just say it's even as something as just disgusting as like 80%.
Yeah.
Okay? What is the worst matchup you can accept in games 2 and 3 and still feel favored to win the match?
I mean, if you're...
It's like if you're 50-50, right? After games 2 and 3, you're like, awesome.
Yeah, I'm
right.
75% to win the match.
Right, I'm 75% to win the match, but like...
Well, not 75, but
yeah,
75% of 80.
Yeah, where does... Where's that line? I mean...
Honestly, it also depends how big of an edge you think you can get with a quote-unquote normal deck in your hands, right? I mean, the best players in the world, their edge, you look at lifetime winning percentages for a John Finkel or Luis Scott Vargas, and 65% is kind of the best you can ever get. Those guys can win sort of 2/3 of their matches.
Right.
So I mean, that's with a normal deck. I mean, if you're John Finkel, I don't think you want to roll the dice with Dredge. Certainly not while you're in shape, kind of know the format, and feel like you can run somewhere close to your lifetime winning percentage with just one of the good decks in your hands. But I mean, if you think you're an average to a below average player, that actually changes the odds, right?
Right.
Why not just gamble on the matchups rather than rely on your skill to win a bunch of games?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, there's still plenty of decisions too. I certainly don't want to describe the deck as brainless.
No. I mean, obviously you have a lot of things to do, a lot of decisions to make. I'm just saying, like, I'm just curious where, like, the matchup seems bad to me, sideboarded.
Yes.
It just seems to be like a terrible, like, if it's a 40% matchup.
40 is probably my line, my answer to your real question.
Right.
Like, if I'm worse than 40% to win the games after sideboarding, I don't want to play it.
Right.
But I mean, I think different people are going to have different answers to that question.
Sure. So, are we going to be able to switch? Are they still in? They're still in game.
To the coverage area, please. John Grudzina to the coverage area.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're bringing up an interview guy.
Okay, awesome. We start sliding over a little bit now.
I have to carefully move the chair so as not to trip the cord. Is that all right?
You're not Harry. You're fine.
It's that chair. That's the scary one.
Yeah.
The backup match is still in game 2. Is that where we're at?
Correct. Hey, John, have a seat.
Welcome.
Hi.
You're our
Nice job.
first turn 1 kill of the weekend.
Apparently.
Were you expecting turn 1 kills this weekend?
No, not at all. I was astonished by that one.
Scooch in a little bit, John.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, did you know what you were playing when you sat down to play that match?
I didn't know what he was playing initially. I mean, once I saw,
Turn 1, go,
I suspected it was
card.
Manaless Dredge when he, was on the draw. When he told me to be on the play.
So, he won the die roll and chose draw.
Yeah.
Got it. So
that
you
was pretty
suspected it right there.
obvious. Yeah.
Makes sense. Sounds like you played. How much Legacy do you play?
Some. I typically play Vintage.
Aha.
I mean, that's
We'll see you
that's a better
tomorrow, I
format.
guess.
Yeah.
So tell me about the matchup then. Manaless Dredge, is that something you have experience with in Legacy? Probably if you play a lot of Vintage. I'm sure you've played plenty of it in Vintage.
Plenty in Vintage. Pretty much none in Legacy.
Okay.
I mean, my board wasn't really set up for it. I mean, like in Vintage, I'm running like 6 or 7 pieces of hate, and then like coming into like 3, and then like the Pithing Needle is like a half piece of hate. It was kind of scary. I mean, I tried to keep hands with Brainstorm with the fetch land, so I could.
What was the hand you mulliganed in game 3?
It had a Brainstorm, but it had Wasteland and fetch land, so I wouldn't be able to shuffle away anything. So I didn't really like it. I also had 2 treasure cruises, which was like.
A little on the slow side to start with, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, where are you from?
Well, I'm living in Queens, from New Jersey. I'm playing Magic for a few years.
Much respect for both those land masses.
Yep. Typically, I just play Vintage now. Big Legacy events like this, I mean, why not?
Sure.
I have the cards, so.
How do you prepare for a Legacy event like this?
I don't prepare for any events. I just like show up, and occasionally I'll test Vintage if I've got if I decide to have time.
So what was the reasoning behind the deck you chose?
I've been doing pretty well with Delver decks over the past year and a half in Vintage. I was on Rug Delver last year, and I top-8'd a big event out on Long Island, like 100-some-odd people. And I've had a few other top 8s with it. And then I switched over to 4-color, and then we're here, and it's like, let's play Delvers.
Okay.
They've treated me well.
All right.
Okay.
So we will get game 3 of the other match, but we'll finish talking to you first.
I got it. So you've play tested a little bit, whatever. But have you ever bolted your own true name nemesis before?
Not true name. I've actually bolted lots of my own creatures in the Vintage match.
To deal with the bridge. But
Yeah. Sure. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise they just.
I mean, you had no other play there, right? Like you're dead if you don't do that.
Oh, exactly. I mean, like, if he gets any number of zombies, I mean, I'm not going to be able to clear the board. I have no way of doing that. Like, outside of, like, okay, let's Mai's Jite, but that doesn't seem like a good play.
So what kind of field were you expecting in Legacy? You showed up with sort of the StoneBlade variant. I don't know if you have a name for your specific version of the sort of Delvers and Mystics and
Jeskai StoneBlade, we called it. But
Yeah.
some treasure cruises.
That's basically what it is. Yeah, 3 treasure cruises. I don't know.
just the kind of deck you've enjoyed playing. Put in some treasure cruises because it's obviously nuts and.
Yeah, I played blue-red yesterday, and I didn't like it.
Oh, in the trials.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I mean, like, having swords and bolts seems good.
Yeah, so you tried blue-red in the trials, but then figured you wanted clouds, you wanted mystics.
Yeah, I mean, I played against a deck with Jite, and I was just like, oh god.
Oh yeah, that Jite card's pretty good. Huh?
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, I'll play on Jites, might as well get an answer to Goyf as well.
Cool. So I'm trying to keep an eye on when our next match is going to be ready. Are we? Okay. Oh, awesome.
All right,
Thanks for hanging out with
Thanks
us.
a lot. We appreciate
good luck
it.
the rest
Good
of the
luck.
night. And good luck tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go
All
down
right.
to the match.
Here we are, Game 3, Round 6 of the Legacy Championships here on Eternal Weekend in Philadelphia. I'm Brian David Marshall. I am with Pro Tour Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we are about to watch Kevin Jones on your left, playing Blue-Red Delver, against Roland Chang, also Blue-Red Delver. Roland Chang, as I'm sure you mentioned earlier,
Has won this event and has won the Vintage event.
is an art collector.
Ha. Kevin is on the play. Roland having
And so
one game
in-
two to even it
yeah,
up.
In you know, the world has stopped spinning the wrong way, and that means that Roland won the
The
last
guy
game.
with the choice gets
Yeah.
to choose play.
Yeah.
It's like,
Okay, they have a little bit of extra time here. So that says 6:10 at the top, but that's probably maybe
be
6:15.
6:15.
Yeah. We finally get to see a blue-red Delver deck lose.
That's a funny line.
Maybe
They could draw.
they could draw.
They could totally draw. 10 minutes left. I mean, it depends how the game goes. I think this is a matchup of haymakers. Like, it doesn't. Your cards don't cancel out their cards very often. I mean, they cancel out for a while, and then the first guy to resolve Treasure Cruise just takes the lead. But we'll see.
Players are still wrestling with their hands. Looks like Kevin Jones is he going to 6 or is he going? Or is this a? I think, yeah, it's the
Going to
first
6.
mulligan.
I was impressed with that interview. I mean, for a guy who says he doesn't test Legacy,
Yeah.
he knew all the moves.
Right. He's like, no, I've never bolted a True Name Nemesis, but I've bolted plenty of creatures to kill a bridge.
As soon as my opponent told me I was playing first, I pretty much knew what deck
Yeah.
he was on.
Yeah.
We have not had a lot of legacy experts in the booth.
Yeah, I guess we haven't had a lot of Legacy experts in the booth. I don't know.
Yeah, it really does feel like a lot of the players on the top tables have been
Attention
players
if you've signed up
waiting, biding their time till tomorrow
number
to get
7,
to the vintage.
come find me at the side
You
of
know.
the stage.
They may find they're still playing Legacy tomorrow. I don't know if this thing's going to end before midnight.
All right,
See how the top
Monastery
8
Swift
goes.
Spear.
Get ya. Take
Keep a
one.
6-card hand with haste creature.
How about we both take one?
It's no Goblin Guide, but
Not this turn.
all right, Roland Chang playing quickly. These guys know
Yep.
time is definitely a factor here.
Basic island from Roland Chang. Have we shown Roland Chang's deck tech yet? I don't think we have.
So you want to see anything stand out to you on Roland's list here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little burn heavy. Main deck Price of Progress and a Fire Blast is probably the thing that sets it off. But I mean, it's the blue-red version. We also saw he won the game he won on camera previously was with a Vapor Snag off the top.
Oh wow, the one Vapor Snag.
The one Vapor Snag returned to Tarmogoyf and cleared a path and created a token. And
All right, Pyroblast your guy. Get in for 2.
so every bit is good. Better than Goblin Guide.
Yeah.
Get in for 2, you don't even get a free land out of it.
Oh, but no
Yeah.
second land. Kevin Jones is right now rooting for a Goblin Guide out of Roland Chang's
Yeah, I don't think it's
sideboard.
coming.
No. Maybe never again.
They're gone forever.
Michael Dershow, please report to the side event stage.
All right.
All right.
Another Delver. I'm sure Kevin would love a second lane. I mean, the deck can operate on a 1 for a while, but it really wants 2, maybe 3.
All right, he found it. He found his Misty Rainforest.
Interesting. Keeps going for the volcanics. You see, Roland is cracking for basic lands as much as he can. I mean, some of that is to guard against potential wastelands. The blue-red Delver decks don't tend to run wastelands. I don't know that Kevin does or not. No, it doesn't look like he does. But the other thing is Price of Progress.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the blue, I mean, I don't know if a lot of them, but between main deck and sideboard, a decent chunk of these blue-red Delver lists will have access to Price of Progress. So being able to just fetch out basics is nice. Especially if you're using Price of Progress.
Yeah. And Roland, like you said, playing 2 Price of Progress, maybe.
I don't know if that stays in this matchup. Maybe. If your opponent's aggressively getting volcanics, maybe it's supposed to. All right.
Kevin Jones has 3 non-basics.
Okay.
I mean, Roland only has 4.
Well, the real question is, do you get them?
Yeah.
Like, both players have cracked a pair of fetch lands. One guy has 2 volcanics.
Right.
The other guy has an island and a mountain. I mean, it's just, you don't need a lot of them in your deck to do this. Roland's got 2 of each.
Legacy Championship players, that is time in the round. Active player finish your turn, then proceed.
Young Pyromancer comes down for Kevin Jones.
Players, that is time in the round.
Normal time in the round has been called, but we have 5 more minutes
Yep.
on this match.
Delver flips. Is it a fork bolt?
That is a fork bolt.
All right. Down goes your young Pyromancer. But don't get the Swift Spear. I think you have to just kill young Pyro. Just basic mountain out of his hand. Swift Spear into fork bolt. That'd be pretty good here.
Oh, yeah. Nope, just attack for 3 in the air. So, fork bolt, Pyromancer, and you for 1.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yep. That's what he does. Scary thing is, you know that Kevin's hand is just full of spells.
There's no land there. We know that.
And there's another Swift Spear. Bolt something. Attack for 4.
I mean, Bolt Insectile Aberration, attack for 4 would be pretty solid here.
Brainstorm.
Trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he can come up with a land and a removal spell for the flipped Delver, come over for 6.
I mean, you're kind of thinking about maybe bolting his face at that point. That's 9. Drop him to 5.
Maybe.
You're at 14.
I think I'd still kill the Delver. All right, well, Brainstorm resolved. No lands or spells came down before combat
Oh, boy.
or after.
Wow.
Still just the 2 lands.
Scalding Tarn.
Cracking it?
Yep.
Yes, cracking it. I'm gonna guess island.
Yeah. He has 1 more.
Not anymore. Now all 4 basics are in play.
Yeah. That is it. He's out.
I mean, Roland doesn't even play 4 volcanics in his deck. He's only got 3 volcanic islands. 10 fetch lands, 3 volcanics.
Wow. That's crazy.
All right, now what?
Okay.
A Swift Spear.
Swift Spear of his own. He's going to cast Price of Progress here.
Yeah. That's what he's been playing toward.
Yeah.
Take 4. And my Swift Spear
Does he have the
triggers.
Fire Blast?
Oh, Fire Blast. Is Fire Blast lethal? It probably is, right? He's at 10 and attacking for 5. Fire Blast would be lethal. Days, okay.
Days.
Pay.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, but he gets to pick up the volcanic.
Right, he does get to pay. Okay.
So now he only takes 2. Hilarious.
Attention Magic players, I need Jason Shavel to the main stage, please. Jason Shavel.
All right, so Roland can attack for 5 and drop Kevin to 7. Seems like you just do that. Yeah, he's not interested in blocking. He's ahead in the race. The Daze was pretty good there.
Yeah, this was awesome.
I mean, I guess it was
I don't
just...
know that he has the Fire Blast.
I mean, I guess it was just gain 2 life, but still. Gain 2 life, make you spend a mana.
And hopefully, like, stifle your, not literally, lowercase s.
Yep.
Stifle your mana development so you can't get too many spells off next turn. Bolt you.
Bolt you. 3 damage, drops Roland to 6, and he's taking 4.
Yeah, and then he's gonna
So any spell?
and he's gonna pyroblast the insectile aberration.
Oh, he has a pyroblast too?
Yeah.
That's not good. Wow, Roland does have the fire blast. That daze was the game.
Well, he can just fire blast one of the swift spears if, I mean,
Sure. He's not dead yet, right? This bolt takes him to 6. The swift spears are hitting him for 4. Don't you wait to see another spell?
yes.
Is he worried
you
about?
Wait, you wait.
I mean, I guess he's worried about then counterspell on top of that, getting them to 5 toughness, but it's not going to happen. And Roland is currently attacking for 4 next turn. Wow, that daze. Roland had it. He had the Fire Blast for Xaxes from 14. But Daze picked up a Volcanic, so that Price of Progress only dealt 2.
All right.
All right,
he's
Lightning
like,
Bolt has in fact resolved.
Trigger. Wearing extra turns.
That shouldn't be an issue.
Should not be an issue, but,
Yes.
you know. I can imagine a situation where 2 Swift Spears stare at each other for a couple turns if they both have lands. Okay. So.
Oh, it's a fork
it's a
bolt.
fork bolt.
You don't bother killing creatures, right? You just point that at Roland?
And that puts those both up to 3.
Yeah, they go to 3/4. Or they will when the triggers resolve anyway. They're currently 2/3s with triggers.
He fork bolts the aberration.
He goes Delver?
Yeah. He gets
Insect
the aberration.
Now what's Roland supposed to do? He knows that those Swift Spears are lethal, so he has to stop something.
Right.
Stopping the Fork Bolt doesn't help him.
No,
he has to kill a Swift Spear.
Yeah, he has to fire blast the Swift Spear.
Yeah, it's
And I don't think you can risk another spell here.
wow. So close. Delver dies. Fire Blast is used up. And you still take 3. You're right, though. If these players are both out of gas, Swift Spears could stare at each other for a couple of turns.
All right, turn 1.
Brainstorm. Trigger. It's gonna be tough with no mountains.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Scalding Tarn in his hand. So he can reshuffle, but he'll take 1.
Did that guy find you?
Pyroblast in the mix.
I mean, he might just have to, like, brainstorm, attack, and just hope
Really?
for the best here. I don't know. Is that totally crazy?
Depends how many cards Jones has in his hand.
I mean, yeah, the problem is Jones has been mana constrained all game.
Right.
So
not spell
there are
constrained.
not lands in his hand.
Right.
We know one of the cards is a Pyroblast.
Yeah, which can actually be pointed at anything
Yeah.
if all you're interested.
Important distinction.
It's not a red elemental blast, it's a pyroblast. It's destroy target permanent if it's blue, which means you can point it at anything if all you're interested in is a prowess trigger. And it used to be, oh, Roland's going to crack a fetch land. I mean, he probably has to, but it does mean that he's dead now.
He wins. He wins with a price of progress, right?
Yes.
Price of progress wins.
Price of progress deals 4 and gets a prowess trigger
The second prowess trigger
to get
for
to
the
3
turn.
power.
Yeah.
Except that he doesn't have a mountain left. He has to get volcanic.
Oh no!
So it would draw. Price of progress would draw.
No, it wouldn't, because he has to do it before he attacks with Swift Spear.
Ha! Doesn't even draw.
So can he kill the Swift Spear here?
Huh.
Alright.
Sure. Attack you with my 1 Swift Spear, leave the other on defense.
Alright. 5 playing 3 now. Kevin Jones, this is turn 2.
Delver.
Is he just gonna go Delver, say go?
Apparently.
He does. Ooh, I'm rooting for the draw.
Just can't stand to see this deck lose.
Can't stand it.
This is turn 3.
This is turn
Roland
3.
has 1 more turn after this. Kevin has 1 more turn after this. If Delver flips, it can attack for lethal.
There's young Pyromancer.
Is it going to come down to this Delver flip?
It is going to come down to this Delver flip.
What you got? Turn 4, last turn. There it is. Wow. And somehow it's still Treasure Cruise. It does everything.
Oh my god.
Treasure Cruise off the top. Never even got cast. But it flipped the Delver, and Roland Chang extends the hand.
Turns out you don't even need to cast a Treasure Cruise.
Just
win
show
in
it
like
to
a-
your opponent.
Yeah, just look.
Just show, look, I have a
Look at the
Treasure
top
Cruise.
of my deck.
You
I
can't
thought we were
win.
gonna get the draw. That was
Wow.
That was amazing.
It was tight.
Yeah. And you see, like, I mean,
The days.
that
Days
day's-
was insane.
Yeah, I'll pay. Okay, I don't care.
I picked up my volcanic. You can no
I
longer
don't
kill
care.
me. Can no longer kill me with Xaxes with
Right.
the Fire Blast.
So somebody get the Tommy Lee Jones gif. I don't care. Oh my gosh, that was wonderful.
That was fun.
So Kevin Jones 6-0 with Blue Red Delver.
Yep.
Roland Chang goes down to 5-1.
Yep. Still fine.
Manaless Dredge goes to 5-1. Sullivan Brophy. And John Grudzina, who we had in the booth for a quick interview, playing with
Jeskai Delver?
Jeskai StoneBlade, whatever.
I mean, he called it a Delver deck.
Sure.
He felt like I'm playing a Delver deck, but I really want to throw some white cards into
Right,
it. It wasn't
right.
like I'm playing a Stoneforge Mystic
Sure,
deck.
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he goes to 6-0.
Oh, yeah. So
maybe get a chance
both
to see.
of the 6-0s we know about are Delver Cruise lists
Right.
of one variant or another.
Yeah.
Guessing there's going to be more than 2 6-0s at this point. There's got to be. If we're playing 10 rounds of Swiss, there should still be like 10 of them.
Vintage champion trial player.
Oh, yeah.
That is the end of the round. It's time of the round.
480, 2 I don't want to.
5 additional turns.
You can figure it. Yeah. We started out with 480 players, right?
Yeah, I know that looking last round, the undefeateds went down to like table 12.
Right.
So there were 20. I think we were down to 24, 12. I think there's only like 6 left.
Okay. It's getting
It's
tight.
like half a dozen.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 5-1s, you know, a lot of, you know, seeing a lot of interesting players there. You know, again, you know, Rich Shea, who took the loss to Scape Shift, floating around at the X1s. The Scape Shift deck now floating around at the X1s.
Yeah, we're not too far over the line for 10 rounds either, right?
No, I don't
We
think
could
so.
actually see X2s sneak in, maybe?
I think so.
Given that we're only just barely have enough players to require the 10th round of Swiss.
Right. I don't know. I also don't know what the. I don't know what the procedure is here in terms of. I guess are all top 8s are.
Oh, play draw matters.
Play draw matters.
Yeah, I heard them announce that during round 2. They
Okay.
definitely said that it's the modified play draw rule, so whoever is the higher seed gets to choose play draw for every playoff round.
So that seems like it really incentivizes people who are in the top 8, win, lose, or draw. You know,
Yeah,
win,
you
lose,
don't-
or draw to go win or lose.
It depends. I mean, sometimes the draw holds on to your top seed anyway
Sure.
if everybody's drawing, but yeah. Yeah, there's definitely something to play for. You don't necessarily want to just give away wins at the end or even give away points at the end, because that play draw does matter for sure.
Now, did you say we had a Roland Chang deck tech that we hadn't seen?
Awesome.
Why don't we take a look at that?
Yeah.
See how he was that that's the legacy one?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
It's the deck we just saw.
Oh, awesome. So find out a little bit from a legacy world, a legacy champion
Absolutely.
about his deck.
Yeah, and should be time for round 7 by the time we get back.
Yeah, we're flying. I mean, 6:30, but it does feel like we're flying. Got a little off to a little bit of a rough start this morning.
Magic is fun. Time flies.
Yeah. Traffic does not.
No.
I can assure you. Having spent 45 minutes in the Lincoln Tunnel this morning, I can assure you traffic does not fly.
Oh wow, pairings are already going up. Do we even have time for the deck tech, or should we just roll straight in?
Announcement to make. Please pay attention to what I
Okay.
have to say.
It's a 5-minute long deck tech? Yeah, let's just run it.
And then it'll give us a chance to shuffle chairs here.
Take place tomorrow.
I believe we'll be bringing in Bob, going back to the
We will not be running the top
two Pro Tour Hall of Famer.
Oh, wow.
So if you made
I think what I'm hearing is that the top 8 of Legacy Champs is being run tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Is that what I'm hearing?
once again, we will not be playing out the top
Yeah.
8 tonight.
Gonna go too late.
We will begin the
Top 8 is not going to be played out tonight. The quarterfinals will be taking place at 8 a.m.
Okay, so I have mixed feelings about this.
Yeah, we got to be live for the stream, right?
On
We're
one hand, I
televising
feel
the
really
quarters.
good about getting out here a little earlier.
It doesn't actually affect the
doesn't
amount of sleep we
no,
get
it
overnight.
doesn't.
It just affects which hours we get to sleep for,
Right.
is all it does.